Welcome to the Flute 360 podcast, where we incorporate a panoramic view of flute-related topics. I am your host, Heidi K. Begay, and this is episode 0, an introduction to the Flute 360 podcast. Hi everyone, my name is Heidi, and I am super excited to be here today. And I am even more excited that you have tuned in. So thank you for taking the time to check out Flute 360 podcast to see what it's all about. I would like to take a brief moment and share with you who I am and what this podcast is all about. In the very early stages of my flute career, I studied at the University of Arizona for my bachelor's and then moved to Louisiana in Natchitoches to pursue my master's in music from Northwestern State University of Louisiana. And then I took a 6-year break before beginning my doctoral studies at Texas Tech University. I give you that brief background because within those 6 years, a lot changed with me throughout my career, personally and business-wise. And I bring attention to that time span between 2009 and 2015 because those changes really shaped who I was going to be, not only as a person, but as a teacher and as a flutist. And in hindsight, I didn't realize this, but as I was forming and creating this podcast, I noticed that a lot of the inspiration was based on these 6 years. So for me, that was really profound that I had that realization. Throughout those 6 years, I was extremely blessed to have a lot of different music opportunities. Not only was I teaching 60 plus flute students during that time, but also working with a nonprofit organization, the Texas Flute Society, as well as teaching evening music classes at Tarrant County College. So I bring all of this to your attention because throughout that time, I didn't realize it, but I was researching and growing as an instructor and as a flutist and as a person. And because I was working crazy hours, I unfortunately dealt with a lot of pain in my hands because I was overworked. So you can imagine having pain in your two thumbs. You freak out as a musician because I have these 2 degrees and I'm working and doing what I love and I'm finding myself not able to play the flute. So naturally, one goes to the doctor to figure out what's going on, in my hands, and you're just pulling hairs because one doctor will say one thing, another doctor will say another thing. And for me, I had to kind of put my foot down and take the reins myself and figure out what was going on and find a method that worked for me. So to help myself and my body to heal from this trauma, I had to research and I had to take oodles of notes and bookmark tons of websites. And throughout this time, I'm gathering these great resources, saving it for my own use, not realizing that the people I was going to meet later in life were dealing with the same or very similar situations within their health in their music profession. Not realizing it at the time, I found myself making friends with other music colleagues that struggled with health issues of their own. So whether it was in their hands, elbows, shoulders, neck, I was seeing this theme. I was noticing that other musicians, whether they were flutists like myself or cellists, guitarists, pianists, the list goes on and on. I noticed that a lot of musicians dealt with the same issues. So in these conversations, I would share with them enthusiastically what worked for me, the oils, the diet, the sleeping, the exercising, and their faces would light up. They would get excited that, oh, there's hope for me. There's something out there that can help. So with that being said, that's the inspiration and that's the basis for this Flute 360 podcast is my testimony, my research throughout the years based on, health, how that can help a musician. If we're healthy and active, how that can help our playing. That's the basis and inspiration for Series 1, titled Health, where we go through episodes 1 through 4, and we talk about prevention through exercise and all these other great gold nuggets that really helped me and still helps me to this day. And furthermore, the inspiration for Series 2, starting and maintaining a successful flute studio, is based off of, again, those 6 years where I would at times want to pull out my hair because I was learning as I was going. I was teaching 60 flutists right out of graduate school. I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, school really prepared me to play technically well and play my scales and my arpeggios. But really, I did not ever take a class about invoices or how to schedule 60 students, how to juggle and, change hats between being a part of a nonprofit organization to a teacher to a performer. I hadn't really learned that in a class, so I had to learn basically on the job. So that's the inspiration to Series 2, helping newcomers to the music industry get a footing of what's going on, and for professionals who are already living their dream and teaching in their own studio. Maybe there are some tips or suggestions that they hear in one of these episodes that will get them thinking in a different way or a new idea to maybe explore. In Series 2, you will find episodes 5 through 8, which we will discuss different topics such as networking and marketing to recruit students to your flute studio, organization within your studio, tax information for the self-employed teacher, and student success. So, yes, I've researched a lot of different experts in these different fields, and you will hear that research through these episodes. It's also with a little twist of my own testimony and my own experience within these 6 years and what I learned worked for me and possibly could work for you. So that's a little background and a little heads up of what you can expect from Series 1 and 2, which, by the way, Flute 360 podcast will be launching on March 31st. So I hope you come back to iTunes to check out episode 1 because we are launching on March 31st. After Series 1 and 2, I have in the works Series 3, 4, and 5, where we talk to flute experts and flutists. We also will explore topics such as practicing effectively, and I'm super excited to share those with you as well. So I encourage you, if you like the show and you like the material, to subscribe and tune in. I will be posting episodes weekly, and throughout the week, if you have an idea or a suggestion or questions regarding anything flute related, send me an email at heidikbigay@gmail.com or check out my website at heidikbigay.com and shoot me an email and suggest a way, because you, the listeners, are a huge part of this podcast, and I am stoked to share with you any ideas that I can send your way. So if you email me a suggestion for a future podcast episode topic, I will definitely look into it. And I just want you to know that not only will it be my own ideas and my tips and suggestions from my own experience, however, this podcast is also a platform for research-based information. I will be asking other experts. I will be checking out books. I will include that information into these episodes because I want you to have reliable research-based information that you can trust, and that it is valid and it is concrete. So you can be expecting that within each of these episodes. To wrap up today's episode 0, an introduction to the Flute 360 podcast, I just want to really stress that, This podcast is research-based, my testimony, my experiences, but I'm doing this because I'm inspired by you guys, and I'm inspired to share with you these little gold nuggets that I have picked up along the way, so that way there's a communication and a dialogue that's happening within our Flute community. I'm super excited to share this experience with you, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to visit me at HeidiKBegay.com or shoot me an email at HeidiKBegay@gmail.com.
Let's talk about Flute.